Hey guys, Gummuncher Zero here, and Gut Plays with Trains. And today we're looking at some of my hobo stuff I've collected. Mainly because I dug up a couple of my tubs and going through them, and I found it all, and I was real excited. So this was one of the early pieces I bought. This is the Hobo Depot. There's a guy in there, and the door does not move. I keep trying, but it never does. And this log here is a switch for something. I can't remember now exactly what it does. There's a couple guys on the front, and they're playing the harmonica and just hanging out. And then if you look, there's an awful lot of detail here. Those cross pieces in the front are pretty nice. And I mean, there's nothing underneath it, but there's a switch there, and then there's the two power pickups. So I'll have to cover those up. And then this actually comes off, and so that's a hollow tube there, really, and you can put smoke fluid down in that hole, and so then it looks like the potbelly stove inside is actually working. So that's just a cool accessory, man. I really like it. And then this is actually the first one that I bought, and this is the Hobo campfire, and I got this off eBay, and it's also got a little kettle there over the fire, and when you turn it on, I don't have this wired either right now, but when you turn it on, well, that light inside there flickers. There's a bunch of LEDs in there, and so it looks very nice. And there's these figures that are on here are actually metal, and they're hand painted, and I don't know if this will stay in. Yeah, it's not really staying in focus. If you look at the guys a little bit farther back, you can see them a little better, but the guy with the banjo especially. But check that out, man. They've hand painted these, and they look really nice. This is another piece I got. Now, in this case, the figures are not metal. These are actually rubber, and I think the reason is because they're meant to move with that saw. So when you power this up, the saw actually moves back and forth, and so then it looks like these two lumberjacks are, sawing a log. And it's got a couple trees on there and some logs they've already cut. So that's a pretty good accessory, and I was really happy to pick that up. It's got a little bit less detail on the figures maybe than the metal ones, but the pickups on this one are on the bottom, just like on the campfire, basically. Now this is the piece de resistance of the Hobo stuff that I've got. This is the Hobo water tower, and it's got a little shed there with a campfire also. It's got a little kettle on the campfire, and that campfire actually does light up and flicker as well. So I have two of those. And then there's a guy sleeping back there. And then there's three guys there playing checkers and checking out the fire with the dog. The tower itself is pretty cool. They made it look kind of dilapidated and broken down. The arm is hanging down there with some chains. That's a nice detail. It just stands very nicely, I think. It's a little bit uneven, maybe. And if you turn it around, there's a guy on there playing the harmonica there on the left. And what's really neat is when you power this up, if you hit the button, that guy there, he's playing the song Beautiful Dreamer. And then there's a couple guys inside, and they're just kind of snoozing in the water there, hanging out in an inner tube and a mattress of some kind. So that's a pretty good one, and it just locks onto the base there a little bit. It's not glued on because when you put it away, it can't be. This is another piece that I picked up. I got this on eBay with a bunch of track. It was just kind of thrown in there. I think Mark's made these. I don't think it's plastic, though. I think it's Mark's. So anyway, the one neat thing about this stuff is, hobos go with every layout, right? Any kind of train layout, I think, needs some hobos on it. And here I got the old Polar Express driving by while the guys are hanging out and playing their harmonicas. I really like the hobos. My family's got a history of a hobo, at least that we know of, which was my great uncle. And he was a hobo, and every once in a while he would show up at my grandma's house just out of the blue. And she'd give him some of my granddad's old clothes. And Grandpa Jim, whom I'm named after. And then he always wanted eggs, so she'd cook up a huge thing of scrambled eggs for him. And then he'd spit all over him so that nobody would steal his eggs. And then he'd take off into the wild blue and just disappear. And I don't know whatever happened to him. That's the only story that I've got is about him there. So he must have passed on years ago now, though. So this just really looks nice to me. Anytime that you add buildings to a layout, you know, it's really coming together. It's really looking more and more like the kind of model layout that you want to play with. And actually, I played with this for about an hour, screwing around with it the other day. And it's always neat to look past the train and see things with people on them and stuff, and have little scenes. I really like it. I was under the weather for a couple days, which is one reason this video is a little bit late. I meant to have it out about a week ago almost. And the other thing is, I've been going through these tubs, and I wanted to add on to the layout table that I've started there, my bench work. But it just hasn't worked out because of the weather, and then, like I said, I was under the weather for a few days. I was, well, I was ill for a few days. And so, anyway, the other nice thing is there, the Polar Express, it kind of goes with everything, doesn't it? It is a very nice junior Burke there, and passenger cars are pretty nice. It would be better if they had metal trucks, but they're okay. They're okay. I'm going to get some other trains out. And I also have a Hobo hand car somewhere that I bought. One thing I wanted to clear up, in the first video I said that was 135 watt power supply there, and it's actually 180 watts. And I actually bought that later on after I had the TMCC stuff, because I tried running it off of a transformer and it just did not want to work with the TPC. The TMCC would work, but that TPC would not. And here's the first tub, the second tub actually, and that's the one that had the Hobo stuff in it. So anyway, I appreciate you watching my videos. Have a good one. Bye.